Yeah, really disappointed to to follow up the announcement that that the tip-off at Toomers had to be canceled. I'm sure you all understand why. We're faced with an emergency situation because of Tropical Storm Michael and the hurricane, and um, the amount of effort that it was going to require on Wednesday to set the stage, to put everything together uh, in the middle of that storm. Um, Put us in a situation where we just couldn't put people in jeopardy like that. Um, the other thing too is, again, closing Toomer's Corner down would start probably Wednesday evening during the storm, and we have to make sure that police and fire and everybody that would be working with the safety and security of Toomer's Corner are available to perhaps do more important things if an emergency would present itself. Um, I can't thank the people that try to help this make this possible. We have a blueprint now. Perhaps this could be something that we'll do next year, and if we could do it right, it's something that we could do every year. I want to thank Mayor Ham. Uh, this has been a 2-3 year process where we've been trying to pull this thing off, and he's been tremendously supportive. I want to thank Dr. Leaf and Alan Green for not only understanding that this was a great idea, but then making it happen and giving their thumbs up and approval to so many different departments in the university to work on this. And again, one of the things that I don't take for granted is we've got volleyball going on, we have soccer going on, we have got football. We have all these things taking place. The last thing in the world anybody else needed was another kind of major event, and yet they saw past that. And so our marketing department, our sports information department, all of our athletic directors that work under Alan spent enormous amount of man hours trying to put this thing together because they understood the impact it could have on Auburn and bringing a national television audience to this iconic location of Toomer's Corner. Student affairs was involved, recognizing this is fall break, and what a great idea to provide programming for the students that can't get home, in addition to the football game on Saturday against Tennessee, with the 3-on-3 tournament. All that's canceled now. There is no 3-on-3. We chose to not do something Thursday night in Auburn Arena because we really weren't set up for it. We were set up for our event outside of Toomer's, and that day, Thursday, we are also having our pro day early in the afternoon, and I'm really excited about the fact that we're looking at about 28 or 9 clubs being here, being represented by the NBA at our pro day on Thursday. That'll continue. That will go on. Seth Greenberg from ESPN was planning on coming in for the Toomers event and pro day, and he'll be here. Damian Fishback was also planning on coming in, and he very well may be here, but Damian's here often because he lives in the region and an former Auburn player. But it's pretty special to have one of the guys that are on College game day all the time, and Seth Greenberg, coming to Auburn to watch us practice and watch our pro day. And I'm sure that they'll put some things together so that the ESPN and the SEC network will have some things in the can that they can use to talk about our players and to talk about our team. As far as just being on the court is concerned, we are, I don't think we had a very good week last week. The things that you would expect would ail us are ailing us. We've got to show much more toughness and resiliency defensively, getting stops. We'll be different defensively because we're going to be a little bigger, but we're not as quick. We're not going to be as disruptive. We're going to have to do a better job containing, rebounding, playing position defense, and we got to get better at that. We got to get some focus on that. Second thing is, the players have asked, and I also agree that roles need to be defined a little sooner this year because of the challenges of our November schedule. And so as a result, I'm going to try to get this team to be playing better earlier than we have in the past, because the schedule requires it, which means I've got to try to narrow some things down and define those roles. And so you can say, well, there's no reason to be pushing an alarm right now here in early October, but we've got a long way to go to become a good basketball team right now, and we're not there. So we're working on some things. Got a few questions. I'll mention one other thing, and then I'll take some questions. I am so excited about Auburn basketball and Auburn Athletics partnership with the Auburn Marching Band this Saturday at halftime. Their production is called Outlive, and that's Auburn basketball's fight against cancer, which has become Auburn University's fight against cancer. The impetus behind this was one of the band members, Sarah DeFalco, battling cancer as a student, and her bandmates and the leadership of the band didn't want to fight it alone. And we're looking to find out, they had been witness to the Outlive game and all of our things that we've done to bring awareness that the best way to outlive cancer is to detect it early, and the things that you need to go about so that you can detect it early. And that the funds that we have been able to make through our t-shirt sales and for people going to outlive.com and making contribution, all that money goes directly to patients that are battling cancer. It's not for research. When you have cancer, you have to keep working. You have to have chemo, radiation. You're tired, you're fatigued, but you've got bills to pay. So we, through Outlive, are work with about 7 or 8 different agencies here in the state of Alabama, those doctors and those caregivers, to provide money for their patients for a mortgage payment or a gas bill or food when their father or their mother or when somebody in their family is going through cancer. So that's what the funds are for. But this program is to give everybody around here heads up to get checked. This program is also to support all the people that have survived and outlived cancer, and for those that are in the battle right now to outlive cancer and support of them and their fight. That's kind of what this was all about for Sarah. And so I'm excited about seeing the halftime show. I encourage our fans to come out, support our football team, support our band. Don't go anywhere at halftime, and watch this performance, and then go get checked, or go get a family member checked, or contribute to some of the opportunities that are going to be presented as a donor, as a bone marrow donor, any of the different ways that you can participate in the ways to fight cancer. So we're excited about that coming up on Saturday. Well, it looks like we've done a good bit of it as far as how much time we've spent on it, but I can tell you the results don't look like we've done a good bit of it. So I've got to move forward with other things, but I can't move forward until we get some of the defensive fundamentals down. And so the fact that we haven't picked it up is slowing our progress. All 5 guys getting in the right spots, making plays, and you got to be, transition defense is important to be able to get matched up and get identified and build a wall. Again, and I'll probably be identifying it over the course of the season. But we lost some really good on-ball defenders from a year ago that were really good, that required no help. that could keep a guy in front. And we lost some of those, and so as a result, the guys that are going to be out there now have got to, either be able to compete in that area, or then we're going to have to provide them with help and rotations, and that's how defenses break down. That's a good question. Fortunately, I think because our scout team is pretty good, bring a lot of kids back from that scout team, they've been able to expose some things in practice that, so we've been able to be, hey, heads up. We've exposed them on ourselves. I think the other thing that I would be concerned about is our assist turnover ratio. I'm not sure exactly where we were last year as far as 2-to-1 or wherever it was. I knew our guards were, but because we are, say, trying to get the ball inside a little bit more, we're turning it over a little bit too often, throwing it in there. Once it gets in there, we got to do a better job of cutting down on our turnovers as well. Those would be the two biggest things that are concerning me so far in the early portions of practice.